Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the very first of its kind. It is a Stonehill Forex original custom indicator. And this one is called the Crossroads. And yes, I passed up on the opportunity to drop some Bone Thugs and Harmony lines, telling you how much I missed my Uncle Charles. But I did not do that for two reasons. One, I didn't want to break the internet, because two, this is the very first of its kind. If you didn't know, Stonehill Forex is not just one person. It's not a he, it's a they. Dan has a team of people working with him, including some very talented coders. One in particular is his top coder, a Dutchman named Niels. And you have seen Niels' work before, not in the ways of a full-on indicator, but he has, in the past, taken indicators we have used and improved on them and or fixed them. So he has been a really great ally to have on our side, and he and Dan worked together to put together this particular indicator for you. So we'll go over the specs soon, but if you're new, just know you are at the #1 trading indicator channel in all of YouTube. It's always been that way. It will always be that way. But you have also traveled too far. You have a lot to learn before you start getting into these things. So what you need to do is go to nononsenseforex.com. Read that first page, watch that first video, and get yourself started, get yourself caught up. It's worth it. You will have a very unique and particular skill for the rest of your life. And tell me that's not worth it. But for those of you who are already there, let's go ahead and get into the specs of the Crossroads indicator. They actually put this together towards the end of last year. The type is going to be a confirmation indicator. Subtype is a type we have dealt with several times here on the Indicator Profile series before. We just don't do it too often. It's a chart overlay indicator. And as far as exits go, I think it could be a very, very good choice for an exit indicator. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. So you have seen indicators like this before. It's technically a two lines cross, I guess, but it's not an oscillator that goes down here. It goes right on the chart, hence the chart overlay subcategory. And if you're completely new to this, one, go away. But two, while you're here, just know that when the green line, that's your signal line, crosses above the magenta line, that's your signal to go long. And when it does the opposite, that is your signal to go short. Now, if you look at it, just on the surface, it looks like it does pretty well. But look at it as an exit indicator. Pretend like this default setting on the Crossroads is your exit indicator. You're probably pretty happy in terms of where it gets you out of trending trades. I mean, it does pretty good as a confirmation indicator. It wouldn't be here if it didn't. But I know there's a lot of you out there still searching for a really great exit indicator. I don't know why. We've given you a lot of them. But I would say put this one up against the one you have now. I would be interested to see how it does. But let's go ahead and see how it does as a confirmation indicator. Now, before we do that, understand that the numbers I show you don't mean anything. How it performs in your system means absolutely everything. And so after you have gotten all the information you are satisfied with, this needs to be the very next thing you do. If you still don't know how to do that, that's fine. We have so many things down below in the description for you, including a link to my automation blog, which has an embedded video from Dan Stone himself showing you how to test this yourself on the MT4 Strategy Tester. Now, if you want to know anything about this indicator beyond what I have told you, you're going to have to go to the blog. Because this is an original, there is going to be a lot of great information on that blog about this indicator. Dan also has his own YouTube channel where he shows you this thing moving in real time on the minute chart, just to show that it does not repaint. And he also adds some extra information that I don't, so that's worth it too. Now, if you would like us to profile an indicator that you really like, we have done it before. We don't do it often because they often don't pass our test, but you can't win if you don't play. Send it to the email address down below in the description. Do not mention it in the comments section. That will get you nowhere. And then, last but not least, of course, the most popular place in all of anywhere, it's the indicator library, where you can download the Crossroads indicator and every indicator we have profiled here on the Indicator Profile series. Let's go ahead and take a look at how this did. Now, don't forget, we do test things differently now. We sacrificed a little bit of bombastic results year over year for a more realistic 3-year outlook on what these things can do. Yet we still include the year over year. And we will go ahead and take a look at those results right now, starting with the Euro USD. What you can see here is pretty decent results across the board. This is going to be one of those indicators that's not going to give you a ton of signals, which some people like, some people don't. If you trade 36 pairs like I do, you're probably going to really like these 15 signals right here. Once you add on other indicators, that's going to take it down to maybe 10 or 11 signals per year. But the win-loss ratio, as we have shown lately, because if you're not going to give me a whole lot of signals, at least make them good, is quite high here, and that's going to be, again, as it's been the last few times we've done this, a running theme throughout the rest of these results. Let's go ahead and move over into gold. Higher results, of course, as we've seen in gold. More signals this time, year over year, but still a really nice high win rate as well. You know, the way gold trends and the way Bitcoin trends, like really test this out as an exit indicator too. Don't forget to do that. Now let's go ahead and move over to the S&P. Now this will be probably the lowest, or I should say the worst results you're going to see today. Very low on the signals. If you just never want to trade the S&P and kind of have it as an afterthought, well, you might like this. It does hit 2 out of 3, and that's pretty good, but maybe not the best choice for indices traders. But for Bitcoin traders, awfully good. Now, if you are new or you just don't remember seeing this, if you see a green down here, it means the default was actually the best setting. We could not improve on the results, no matter how hard we tried. It just happens that way sometimes. But a big kudos to the Stonehill Forex team for creating an indicator that actually performs well enough to make it to the show. That's a really nice thing to have. You know, people working on indicators for this system specifically, for you to download, use, and have. Well done, gentlemen. Now just know that this channel is all things finance, so you should probably subscribe and hit the bell. You don't want to miss anything here. We have a trading psychology podcast. We have an investing podcast on Saturdays. We do the indicator profile series. If you're going to be locked into any ecosystem, this is the one you want to be a part of. So subscribe, hit the bell, get on board, and go get it.